The velocity of a wave on a string is 2.6 meters per second. What is the velocity on another string that has 6 times more tension and 2 times more mass per unit length? Okay. So before we begin, this is a ratio problem, and we need to identify what equation we need to use. Or what equation that they're using in this problem. The equation that they're using in this problem is velocity in terms of tension and mass per unit length. And we know that the velocity is going to be equal to the square root of the tension over the mass over the unit length. So this stands for tension. This is mu, the Greek symbol mu, which means unit length. Okay, now we're going to set this up as a ratio. So we have the velocity of the new string. So v sub n is going to be the new string, which stands for the other string, okay? And then over v sub o, which is the old velocity. So it will be this. Now you have v sub new over v sub old, which v sub old here, it says that it's 2.6 meters per second. Okay. So now we expand this because we know that velocity is going to be equal to the square root of the tension over unit length. However, for the new one, it's going to be 6 times more than the original tension. And for unit length, it's going to be 2 times more for unit length. Which means that we could set the original one to be 1. Because that way, for t, you could just add 6. And then for m, you could just put in 2. You see how these match? Because this is tension is 6 times more. 6 is 6 times more than 1. Mass is 2 times more than the original. 2 is 2 times more than 1. Okay? So you find that, and you should have, let's find this part first. Let's find this part. So you have the square root of 6 over 2 over the square root of 1 over 1, which should be 1. You get a square root of 3, okay? So you have a square root of 3 here. And then you have v sub n over 2.6. Now that you have this, you want to solve for v sub n, because v sub n is going to help you find, well, it is going to be the velocity of the other string. So you multiply 2.6 on both sides. Or you could use this sign. All right? So you should have v sub n is equal to 2.6 times the square root of 3, which v sub n is going to be 2.6 times the square root of 3. That, which is 4.5 trailing other numbers. So it will be 4.5 meters per second. So this would be your answer.